Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the broadcast. We are down in Parson, Kansas, where the Labette College Cardinals are hosting the Blue Devils from KCK. Game 3 and 4 of the 4-game series. The Blue Devils took the first two games up at KCK on Thursday, won the first game 10-0 and the second game 20-2. So we have traveled down. They're getting ready to take the field. So the music will come back on. The music's a little loud up here, so I will try not to talk during that time. Plus, YouTube gets a little crabby when they hear the music in the background and they don't want to let me monetize things, which isn't a big deal, but nonetheless, it's part of the process. The field has interesting design in that over to the right. Coming right out toward right field is a fence that makes it hard to see down the right field line. But here comes the music, getting ready to start things up. I'll be back for the start of this thing in just a few seconds. All right, here we go. Welcome, everyone. Golbeck, Basler, and Mervosh scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Connor Taylor's on the mound. He's from Bentonville, Arkansas, has a 2-4 record with a 4.96 ERA. First pitch to Golbeck is up high. Golbeck starts the day batting just a little bit over 500. He's 506. He is number one in the nation. There's a strike on the outside corner. He is number one in the nation for the National College Association with 506. And there is strike two called. So 1-2 the count on Golbeck. Overcast day in Parsons, Kansas. There's a ball hit into right field off the glove of the second baseman, Floyd. We'll see how they score that. I would assume it would be scored as a hit. He went up high, didn't come down with it. And that's going to bring up Basler. Basler starts the day batting .302. He'll step in with a runner at first base. There's a toss over to first base. Back in safely is Golbeck. Welcome to the broadcast. Thank you for joining me. Another toss over to first. Golbeck leads the Blue Devils with stolen bases. 17 swiped bags, caught stealing once. So Taylor trying to keep him close. That's high and outside for ball one. 1-0 the count. on Peyton Basler, the second baseman for the Blue Devils. Foul ball back into the screen. Blue Devils on top of the East Division with a 13-1 record. Cali close behind with 11-1, and then Johnson 9-1. That's high and outside. 2-1 the count. On the east side, Neosho County has an 11-game winning streak, and Barton on the west side has a 13-game winning streak. Another throw over to first. Nothing going on over there. 2-1 the count. Peyton Basler at the plate. So pop up down toward third baseman. Vieira is going to take care of that in fair territory. So Basler pops out to Vieira at third. It's going to bring up Jackson Mervosh. Mervosh starts the day batting .327. He'll step in to face Connor Taylor. Go back at first. He had a leadoff hit. That's up high for ball one. 1-0 the count. Comes the 1-0. There's a strike outside part of the plate at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on here in the top of the first. First game is a scheduled 7-inning game. Second game will be a 9. It's a ground ball headed at the shortstop, Goodshield. He's up with it and over to Floyd. Floyd with the return throw over to Max. So the 6-4-3 double play to get Taylor out of the inning. At the end of half an inning, no score. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom of the first inning. Lamuse, Flores, and Goodshield scheduled up to face Aaron Lewis and the Blue Devils. Aaron Lewis is from Kearney, Missouri. He has a 2-0 record with a 3.96 ERA. He toes the slab with Patterson behind the plate for the Blue Devils. There's a striker right at the belt. Lamuse starts the day batting .300 even. There's a ground ball, gets a good hop, does Golbeck, and a long throw over to Woida for the 6-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Javier Flores. Flores starts the day batting .375. He'll step in to face Lewis for the first time. Blue Devils have Nolan the fourth, Kernan, Dirks across the outfield, Mervosh, Golbeck, Basler, and Woida across the infield with Patterson behind the plate and Aaron Lewis on the mound. The competition with the music, I don't prefer to talk and try and talk over that, but if I do not, then YouTube is likely to mute in some areas, and we certainly don't want a muted game. That's low and inside to Flores. Flores, the right fielder. There's a strike on the inside corner off the glove of Patterson and back to the screen. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. No score. It's a high fly ball into left field. Nolan the fourth comes in and takes care of that for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Good Shield. Good Shield is the shortstop. He starts the day batting .400. He'll face Lewis for the first time. There's a strike inside corner at the belt. So a ground out to shortstop and a fly out to left field, and there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. There's a ground ball headed up the middle. Basler has it, charges over to Woida for the 4-3 ground out, and 3 up, 3 down. So both pitchers have faced the median, the minimum, except the fact that Golbeck was doubled off after his base hit. So we go to the second inning, top of the second. No score. All right, here we go to the top of the second inning. Jace Woida will lead things off. Woida starts the day batting .424. He takes strike 1. Woida, the first baseman. Woida, Patterson, Santiago scheduled up for the Blue Devils. There's a ground ball that is fouled just wide of first base. Mack, the first baseman for Labette, come over and grabbed it, was ready to step on the bag till ruled foul. So 0-2 the count quickly on Woida. That's way high and outside by Taylor. Taylor on the mound, righty for the Cardinals. He's from Bentonville, Arkansas. 1-2 the count on Woida. A little bit low and outside, so 2-2. Jenkins, Bunch, Flores across the outfield for the Cardinals. Vieira, Good, Shield, Floyd, and Mack across the infield with Lamoose behind the plate and Taylor on the mound. That's Finley, Bunch in center field. There's strike 3 called. Breaking ball catches the outside corner for strike 3 called. That's going to bring up the catcher, Brady Patterson. Patterson starts the day batting .295. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on. That's high and inside for ball 1. So foul ball out of play. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Breaking ball stays just a little bit inside. 2-1 the count on the catcher, Patterson, for the Blue Devils. That's up high. 3-1 the count. Blue Devils had a leadoff base hit by Golbeck in the top of the first, but that was erased on a 6-4-3 double play. There's ball 4 to Patterson. That'll bring up the designated hitter, Frankie Santiago. Santiago starts the day batting .375. Santiago is a switch hitter. He'll step in on the left-handed side to face the righty Taylor. That's up and out for ball 1. There's a ball headed deep into right field. That's going to be extra bases into the corner. Sorry, we can't see the corner there. If I turn over that way, there's a second fence that it goes through, but Santiago with the double into the right field corner. That's going to bring up Marcus Dirks, the right fielder. Dirks starts the day batting .419. He'll be up there with runners at first and second. Second and third. There's a strike right through there. Inside half of the plate at the belt. Runners at second and third after the walk and then the double by Santiago. That's high and outside. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out to the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. Outside again, so 3-1 the count. There's a ball headed into right field. That's going to be an RBI base hit. Coach holds the second runner up. Going to move down to second on the throw. So the base hit by Dirks scores a run for the Blue Devils. That's going to bring up Freddie Nolan, the fourth. Comes the first pitch to him. That's high and inside. Freddie Nolan, the fourth. He's the left fielder. He's up there with 1 out and runners at second and third. Nolan, the fourth, starts the day batting .319. There's a swing and a miss of that heater on the outside corner. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 run in so far on the base hit by Marcus Dirks. Breaking ball stays inside. Two and one the count. There's a ball that's a little bit up. I thought he was going to ring a strike on that one, but he did not. It was a little bit up. 3-1 the count now. It's a high pop-up on the infield. So who's going to take care of it? Vieira comes in and takes care of that. So Nolan, the fourth, pops out to Vieira at third base. That's going to bring up Brady Kern. Kern will step in now with 2 outs and 2 on. Kern starts the day batting .391. That's high and inside to him. 1-0 the count. Low and outside. Santiago at third. Dirks at second. 2-0 the count on the center fielder, Brady Kern. There's a strike on the outside corner. 2-1 the count. Comes the stretch in, the 2-1 by Taylor. Going to turn back to second. Nothing going on back there. Stays inside just a bit. 3-1 the count. Blue Devils 1 run in on the base hit by Dirks. There's strike 2 called. 3-2 the count now on the center fielder and the number 9 hitter for the Blue Devils, Brady Kern. Breaking ball, he slaps that over the first base dugout and out of play. We'll do the 3-2 again. Runners at second and third, 2 outs, 1 run in. Breaking ball off the end of the bat, into the screen. So we'll do the 3-2 for the third time in a row. Couple of foul balls by Kern. Strike 3 called inside part of the plate at the belt. So the Blue Devils get 1 run on 2 hits. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Blue Devils leading 1-0. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the second inning. Blue Devils score 1 in the second to take the lead here. Edwards, Mack, and Vieira scheduled up for the Cardinals. Edwards is the designated hitter. He starts the day batting .286. Strike 1 on him. Little bit low. 1-1 the count. Blue Devils 1 run on 3 hits. Bottom of the second inning, Cardinals at the plate. 2-1 the count now. Swing and a miss. Sharp break on that breaking ball outside a bit. Caught him thinking it was going to be outside. So 2-2 the count on Quentin Edwards, there's a high chopper to Golbeck. Golbeck gets the bounce he wants, tosses it over to Voida for the 6-3 ground out. It's going to bring up Jared Mack. Mack will step in with one out and nobody on. He starts the day batting .282. He will face Lewis for the first time. There's a bunt. Lewis gets a bounce and down to first for the 1-3 ground out. So Lewis to Voida on the bunt from Jared Mack for the second out. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Gabriel Vieira. Vieira starts the day batting .333. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on here in the bottom of the second inning. There's a high chopper, and that's going to be taken by Lewis over to Voida for another 1-3 ground out. So 3 ground outs. We go to the top of the third with the Blue Devils leading 1-0. I'll be back. All right, to the top of the third we go. Goldbeck, Basler, and Mervosh scheduled up. Goldbeck is from Kansas City, Kansas. He had a base hit to lead this thing off. There's a strike on the inside corner at the knees. Oh, and 1 the count. Goldbeck, the shortstop at the plate. That bounced way out in front of the plate. Lamouche with not much of a chance to block that one, way out there in front of the plate. 1-1 the count. It's a foul ball down the left field line and out of play. So 1-2 the count now on Goldbeck. There's a ball headed deep to right field. I think he got enough of that to get it out of here. And he did. So Goldbeck with the power to right field and a home run. He got all of that one to right for the solo home run. Going to put the Blue Devils up 2-0 now. So that'll bring up Peyton Basler. Basler's from Lansing, Kansas. He popped out to Vieira at third base his first time up. There's a breaking ball back through the inside part of the plate at the belt. 0-1 the count on Peyton Basler. Another breaking ball fouled off of his foot. Blue Devils are 25-3 overall and 13-1 in the conference. They are atop the east side over Cali and Johnson that each just have one in the loss column. That's in the dirt. One and two the count on the second baseman, Peyton Basler. It's a ground ball headed at the second baseman, Floyd. Floyd's up with that and over to Mack for the 4-3 ground out. That's going to bring up the third baseman, Jackson Mervosh. Mervosh is from Lenexa, Kansas. He hit into the 6-4-3 double play his first time up. Way outside, ball one. 1-0 that count on the third baseman, Jackson Mervosh. It's outside. 2-0 the count now. That's inside. Jenkins, Bunch, Flores across the outfield. Vieira, Good, Shield, Floyd, and Mack across the infield. Lemoose behind the plate. Taylor on the mound. 3-0 the count. There's a strike outside. Part of the plate at the knees, so 3-1 the count now. That's ball four. A little bit up. So a one-out walk. That's going to bring up Woida. Woida is from Lincoln, Nebraska. He was called out on strikes his first time up. He steps in with 1 out and 1 on after the 1-out walk to Mervosh. Goldbeck with the solo home run to lead the inning off. That's in the dirt, nicely blocked by Lemoose. Throw over to first, nothing going on over there. Mervosh back in easily. It's outside. 2-0 the count. Going to get a visit to the mound. Blue Devils lead 2-0 as they bat here in the top of the third. First game is a 7-inning scheduled game. Blue Devils took the first 2 games on Thursday up in KCK. They won the first game 10-0 in 5 innings. And then in the second game, I believe it was 20-2, and I believe that was in 8 innings, not 7. 10-run rule. So the Blue Devils won the first 2 in this one. KCK is 13-1. Second place, Cali 11-1. Johnson, third place, 9-1. Fourth place is Neosho County 10-4. Fifth place is Fort Scott at 7-3. Allen County's 3-11. And Coffeyville is in 7th place, 2-12. Labette in 8th, 1-9. And Highland in 9th place, 0-14. That's the standings on the east side. Visit over, back to play. 2-0 the count on Jace Woida. There's a ball right up the middle. That's going to be backhanded by the second baseman, Floyd. Underhands it to Good, Shield, and Mack. So 2 of the first 3 innings, the Blue Devils hit into double plays. But The Blue Devils get 1 run on 1 hit. And we go to the bottom of the 3rd with the Blue Devils leading 2-0. All right, to the bottom of the 3rd we go. Blue Devils lead 2-0. Jenkins, Floyd, and Bunch scheduled up for the Cardinals. Jenkins is the left fielder. Jenkins starts the day batting .077. Swings and comes up empty on that first pitch there, so 0-1 the count to him. That's up a little bit. 1-1 the count. Aaron Lewis back for another inning of work. He's from Kearney, Missouri. That's inside for ball 2, 2-1 the count. That's up just a little bit. 3-1 the count. Blue Devils with 2 runs on 4 hits. Cardinals looking for their first hit. There's a strike right through there, so 3-2 the count on Jenkins. I'm sure Jenkins would like to get that first hit for Labette. Here comes the 3-2. There's a ball headed down the right field line. That's going to be foul. Over onto the field beside us here. So we'll do the 3-2 again. There's a swing and a miss of that breaking ball, so Jenkins down on strikes. That's going to bring up Brandon Floyd. Floyd is the second baseman. Floyd will step in. Floyd bats .056 on the season so far. He takes strike 1, 0-1 the count. Bottom of the 3rd inning action. There's a ball headed into left field. Could be extra bases. Around first and headed to second base is Floyd. And Floyd has a 1-out double into the left field corner. That's going to bring up Finley Bunch. Bunch will step in with 1 out and a runner at second base. Bunch starts the day batting .229. He's the center fielder. He'll step in with a runner at second base and 1 out. There's a strike at the belt outside half of the plate. There's a breaking ball right through there. Foul ball back and out of play. So So the Cardinals have two players with the last name of Bunch, but one's from Owasso and one is from Collinsville. So assuming they are not related, 1-2 the count. That pitch missed way outside. Comes the 1-2. Just a little bit low. 2-2 the count. Lewis would have liked to have the call on that one, but that's a little bit down. It's a high chopper off the outfield and over to third base. So that's going to be an infield hit by Finley Bunch, a high chopper. Second bounce didn't come down till almost in the outfield. So back to the top of the order, and Lamoose will step in. So runners at the corners now, and one out. Runners at the corners. Lamoose will step in. Lamoose he is wearing a different number today, so I'm having trouble finding him. He's from Cartagena, Colombia. First pitch to him was a ball. 1-0 the count. Turn got him picked off. We'll see what happens. We've got a rundown over here. We're going to turn and throw to home and going to be safe at home. So Floyd scores during the rundown to get a run for the Cardinals. Off with the pitch was Bunch. So 2-1 now the score. Runner at second base. That's up high. So 2-0 the count. So Bunch headed for second, had him picked off. There's a foul backing out of play. Had him picked off, throw down to second. And then when the throw went back to second during the rundown, Floyd heads for home, and he's safe at home for the first run of the inning for the Cardinals. There's a high chopper to Mervosh. Mervosh has got it. Loads up the rifle and throws over to Woida. Woida puts on the tag and drops the ball, but it was on the throw. So we get a tag over there, and that's going to bring up Flores. Flores will step in now with 2 outs. Flores is from Caguas, Puerto Rico. Runner at third. That misses a little bit low and inside. So the Cardinals get a strikeout, a double, then a single, then they score a run on the rundown. There's a high fly ball into center field. Kern takes a look at that, and he's got it for the third out of the inning. So the Cardinals get 1 run on 2 hits. We go to the top of the 4th inning with the Blue Devils leading 2-1. I'll be back. All right, to the top of the fourth we go. Patterson, Santiago, and Dirk scheduled up for the Blue Devils. Patterson is from Auburn, Kansas. He reached on a base on balls and scored in the second inning. There's a strike called outside part of the plate at the knees. Taylor back for another inning of work. There's a breaking ball, makes it back to the zone, so 0-2 the count. Jenkins, Finley, Bunch, and Flores across the outfield. Vieira, Goodshield, Floyd, and Mack across the infield. There's a breaking ball in the dirt. With Lemus behind the plate and Taylor back for his fourth inning of work. 1-2. The high fly ball into shallow center field. On the chase is everyone, and Finley Bunch takes care of that for the first out of the inning. It's going to bring up Frankie Santiago, the designated hitter. Santiago is from Calle, Puerto Rico. He had a double into the right field corner his first time up. That's in the dirt for ball one. 1-0 the count. Santiago switch hitter batting on the left-handed side facing the righty Connor Taylor. There's a strike on the inside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 run lead by the Blue Devils. So the ball hit it into right field again, and that's going to be a base hit, a single. So 2 for 2 is Santiago with balls into the right field corner. That's going to bring up Marcus Dirks. Dirks will step in with 1 out and a runner at first base. Dirks is from Kansas City, Kansas. He had an RBI base hit his first time up. There's a strike on the inside corner. 0-1 the count on the right fielder Marcus Dirks. It's a ground ball headed at the second baseman. Over to the shortstop, back to first. Can only get the fielder's choice at second. So Floyd to Goodshield with the 4-6 fielder's choice. That's going to bring up Freddie Nolan the fourth. Nolan the fourth is from Fort Worth, Texas. That's outside. 1-0 the count on Nolan the fourth. He popped up high on the infield. Third baseman Vieira comes in to the left side of pitcher's mound to make the catch. There's a throw over to first. Nothing going on over there. Santiago back in easily. Another throw over. Top of the fourth inning action, Blue Devils. They scored 1 in the second, 1 in the third. Cardinals scored 1 in the third to make it 2-1. There's a ground ball hit it at the shortstop, Goodshield. He tosses it over to Floyd for the 6-4 ground out. So the Blue Devils get no runs on 1 hit. We go to the bottom of the fourth, Blue Devils leading 2-1. All right, to the bottom of the fourth we go. Scheduled up is Good Shield, Edwards, and Mack. Good Shield is from Rogers, Arkansas. He grounded out to second base his first time up. There's a strike on the inside corner at the belt. 0-1 the count on Noah Good Shield. That's high and inside. Good Shield is the shortstop, number 3 hitter for the Cardinals. Swings through that breaking ball for strike 2. So 1-2 the count. Lewis back for another inning of work for the Blue Devils. It's a ground ball just wide of third base. Mervosh comes over and grabs it, was loading up the rifle, but didn't get to use it. Called foul by the home plate umpire. So we'll do the 1-2 again. Comes the 1-2. And a swing and a miss. He was a little tardy on that fastball and misses. So that's going to bring up Edwards. Edwards will step in with 1 out and nobody on. Edwards is from Rogers, Arkansas. He grounded out to go back at short his first time up, and he swings through that pitch for an 0-1 count. Quentin Edwards, he's the designated hitter for the Cardinals. There's a left base hit driven into left field. So Edwards with the base hit, he'll be at first with 1 out. That's going to bring up Mack. Mack is from Houston, Texas. He will step in with 1 out and 1 on after the base hit by the designated hitter, Edwards. There's a strike right through there. Mack was out 1-3 from Lewis over to Woida, his first at bat. And that's a hit by pitch. So that's going to bring up Vieira. Vieira will step in with runners at first and second and 1 out. Vieira is from Toa Alta, Puerto Rico. He also grounded back to Lewis at the pitcher's mound. Strike 1 called on him. Outside part of the plate at the knees. Runners at first and second, 1 out. So the ball hit deep down the right field line. That's going to be caught by the right fielder, Dirks. And Edwards moves over to third on Vieira's fly ball to right field. That's going to bring up Clark Jenkins. Jenkins will step in with 2 outs. He is from Springdale, Arkansas. He will step in to face Lewis with 2 outs now and runners at the corners. Edwards over at third and Mack at first. There's a swing and a miss, so 0-1 the count on Clark Jenkins, the left fielder. He struck out his first time up. It's a throw over to first. He just a little bit of a step towards second, but was able to recover was Mack. Jared Mack, he's the first baseman. He's over there at first right now after he was hit by a pitch. So 0-1 the count on Clark Jenkins. There's a strike right through there. 0-2 the count now. Comes the 0-2 outside. 1-2 the count. Blue Devils leading 2-1. Tying run at third base is Edwards, but there's 2 down. Throw over to first, back in safely is Mack. Nolan the fourth, Kern Dirks across the outfield. Mervosh, Golbeck, Basler, Woida across the infield. Patterson behind the plate. There's a swing and a miss for the strikeout. So the Cardinals get no runs on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 5th. Blue Devils lead 2-1. I'll be back. All right, to the top of the 5th inning we go. Kern scheduled up. He takes outside ball 1. Kern is from Lawrence, Kansas. He was called out on strikes his first time up. That's low and outside. Taylor. Connor Taylor back for his 5th inning of work. There's a strike outside corner at the knees. Golbeck and Basler scheduled up next. 2-1 the count on Brady Kern. There's a ground ball headed up the middle. That's going to be a base hit, so a leadoff hit by Brady Kern. So back to the top of the order in Golbeck. Golbeck is 2 for 2 on the day. Had a base hit to lead the game off, and then in the 3rd, a leadoff solo home run. 2nd run for the Blue Devils. He steps in. There's a line driver right into right field. So Golbeck is seeing the ball well. Thought that Golbeck might move to second on that throw over, but nonetheless a base hit into right field, and the Blue Devils have runners at the corners and nobody out. It's going to bring up Peyton Basler. Basler's popped out to Vieira at 3rd and been out on a ground ball to Floyd at 2nd base. So he's up there 0 for 2 with runners at the corners. Fouls that away. So Kern at 3rd, Golbeck at 1st. Golbeck with a 3 for 3 effort so far in this one. There's a little toss over to Mack from Taylor. Golbeck back in easily. Another throw over. So Golbeck definitely has Taylor's attention on the mound. There's a ball headed into the gap in left center. It's going to be a base hit, and Kern will score on the base hit by Basler. So Basler puts the Blue Devils up 3-1. And that's going to bring up Mervosh. Mervosh will step in. We're going to get a visit to the mound. Blue Devils lead 3-1. Top of the fifth inning action. Goldbeck at second and Bassler down at first. I'll be back. So the visit to the mound is over. That'll bring up Mervosh. Mervosh hit into a 6-4-3 double play in the first inning and then walked in the second inning. He'll be up there with runners at first and second and nobody out. Vieira in on the grass at third. Now the rotation is around trying to get Goldbeck to come off a little wider. Not biting was Goldbeck on that. And he squares to bunt, but it's foul, does Jackson Mervosh. So 0-1 to Mervosh. The Blue Devils a very good bunting team. They have refined the bunts very well. They use that to their advantage frequently. Here comes the 0-1. We'll see if he's still bunting. And he squares to bunt, takes up high. So 1-1 the count. Squares to bunt. The bunt is down. Down to first base. So the sack bunt by Mervosh. And the runners move to second and third. That's going to bring up Woida. Woida will step in. He was called out on strikes in the second inning and then in the third hit into a 4-6-3 double play. That's a little bit high. 1-0 the count. Woida's up there with one out and runners at second and third. Woida looking to either get a hit, a sac fly, or a dinger. Any one of the three would work. There's a strike on the outside corner. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. That's in and in the dirt. Nice block by Lamoose. So 2-1 the count. So a hitter's count here for Woida. We'll see if Taylor gives him anything. There's a ball headed into the gap in right center. And that's going to be 2 RBI base hit for Woida. So 2 more in for the Blue Devils. That makes it 5. So that's going to bring up Brady Patterson. Patterson has reached on a base on balls in the second and flew out to center field in the fourth. He takes low ball 1-0 the count. Blue Devils with a 3 spot so far here in the fifth. Swing and a miss, and thought about a throw, did Lamoose down to first. Had Woida diving back in, getting the belly dirty. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on. Out in front of that was Patterson. So 1-2 the count now. Blue Devils had 3 consecutive hits in this inning, then a sac bunt, and then another. Base hit. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. So Patterson goes down on strikes. That's going to bring up Santiago. Santiago has a double and a single so far. Double into the corner in right and the single to right field. Nicely blocked by Lamuse. Low and inside. Want to know the count on Frankie Santiago, the designated hitter. 2 outs now. That's inside. Throw back down to first. Back in safely is Voida. And a foul ball down into the dirt by Santiago. So a sac bunt and a strikeout along with 4 hits. And the Blue Devils have 3 runs in the inning, but 2 down. There's a high fly ball to center field, sending Bunch back, and he takes care of it in front of the center field wall out there. So the Blue Devils get 3 runs on 4 hits. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Blue Devils leading 5-1. All right, to the bottom half of the 5th inning we go. Floyd, Bunch, and Lamuse scheduled up. Floyd is from Owasso, Oklahoma. There's a strike, catches the outside corner, does that breaking ball. Floyd had a double into the left field corner his first time up. That was the first hit of the game for the Cardinals. There's a ball hit into right field, and the right fielder, Dirks, takes care of that for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up Finley Bunch. Bunch will step in with 1 out and nobody on. Bunch is from Rogers, Arkansas. He had a base hit his first time up. There's a bunt, charging is Mervosh. Decides not to make the throw, and Finley Bunch has a bunt hit. So back to the top of the order, and Edwin Lamuse. Lamuse does a nice job of taking his time getting into the batter's box, so we get the walk-up music. He's going to step in with 1 out and a runner at first base. There's a swing and a miss of that pitch. Lamuse has been out on a couple of ground balls, one to Goldbeck at short and one to Mervosh at third. Swing and a miss of another pitch, so quickly 0-2 the count. On the catcher, Edwin Lamuse. It's a high fly ball on the infield. Coming in to take care of that is Goldbeck. So Lamuse with the pop out. on the infield, and that's going to bring up Javier Flores. Flores has been out on a fly to left field and center field. His 2 at-bats in this one. He'll be up there with 2 outs and a runner at first base in Finley Bunch. There's a throw over. Bunch back in safely. Blue Devils leading 5-1. Cardinals batting here in the bottom of the 5th. There's a strike, catches the outside corner. First game is a 7-inning scheduled game. We're in the bottom of the 5th. Blue Devils leading 5-1. There's a foul ball back and out of play. Oh, and 2 the count on the center fielder. That's way outside. 1-2 the count. Blue Devils with 5 runs on 9 hits. Cardinals 1 run on 4 hits. They've got a runner at first with 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. That's just a little bit up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Last minute thought I better swing here instead of getting rung up, and he fouls it back to the screen. So Flores earns another pitch. Throw over to first, got him picked off. And with the tag, he is out. So even after the bunt hit, Lewis is able to face the minimum in the inning. We go to the top of the 6th. Blue Devils leading 5-1. I'll be back. All right, the pitching change has been made by the Cardinals. Taylor goes 5. Alex Koppel from Keighley, Estonia, comes in, tall righty on the mound for the Cardinals. Dirks, Nolan the fourth, and Kern scheduled up. Dirks takes strike one called. Dirks has an RBI base hit and grounded out to the second baseman on a fielder's choice. There's a swing and a miss. So quickly 0-2 the count is on Dirks with Koppel on the mound. That misses a little bit outside. So 1-2 the count on the right fielder, Marcus Dirks. Way high and outside. So 2-2 the count. Top of the sixth inning action. Blue Devils lead 5-1. 7-inning scheduled game. Strike three called, catches the inside corner. So Koppel comes in and gets the punch out on his first hitter. That's going to bring up Freddie Nolan, the fourth, the left fielder. He's popped out to the third baseman and grounded out to the shortstop on a fielder's choice. It's outside, 1-0 the count. So ground ball headed at the shortstop, Good Shield. He's up with it and over to Mack for the second out of the inning. A 6-3 ground out. That's going to bring up Brady Kern. Kern will step in with 2 outs and nobody on. He was called out on strikes in the second and then had a base hit right back up the middle in the fifth. That's low for ball one to him. So 1-0 the count on the center fielder, Brady Kern. There's strike called, so 1-1 the count. Ground ball back to the pitcher, and he'll take care of that after fumbling it around a bit. But Alex over to Koppel, over to Mack for the 1-3 ground out. We go to bottom of the sixth. Blue Devils leading 5-1. All right, here we go to the bottom half of the sixth inning. Flores, Good Shield, and Edwards scheduled up. Lewis back for another inning of work. Blue Devils have Nolan the fourth, Kern and Dirks across the outfield. Mervosh, Golbeck, Basler, and Moida across the infield. Patterson behind the plate. The defense behind Aaron Lewis. Flores, fly ball into right field. Over to take care of that is the right fielder, Dirks, for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up Good Shield. Good Shield is grounded out to Basler at second and struck out. He'll step in with 1 out and nobody on here in the bottom of the sixth inning. His Cardinals trailing by 4. That misses inside, 1-0 the count. Good Shield with the highest batting average for the Cardinals. He also leads with RBI for them. 2-0 the count on him. He has 15 RBI on the year. His average is 400. There's a breaking ball right through there. So 2-1 the count. Blue Devils 5 runs on 9 hits. Cardinals 1 run on 4 hits. There's a high chopper toward Mervosh. He's up with it. Makes a throw over to Woida for the 5-3 ground out, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Quentin Edwards. Edwards has grounded out to Goldbeck and had a base hit between third and short. He'll step in with 2 outs and nobody on to face Aaron Lewis. That's up high. There's a strike, catches the inside corner. 1-1 the count now on Quentin Edwards. That's high. 2-1 the count. I'd like to commend the scorekeeper over here. When the striker ball happens, he puts it up. There's no waiting like at a lot of places. He gets the information up there. And for an announcer, that is an interesting piece to the cog of what goes on, because if I sometimes lose track of the count, it's hard to know whether that person has put it up or not. There's a high chopper to Mervosh. He's up with it. Throws a one-hopper over to Woida, and Woida's not able to dig that one up. The hop was not a short hop, so that's going to be an error on the third baseman, Mervosh. It's going to be the throwing error. So there'll be a runner at first base, and we're going to have a pinch runner for the Cardinals. That's going to bring up Mack. He's been out on a bunt back to the pitcher and hit by a pitch. There's a ground ball at Goldbeck. He's up with it and underhands it over. Edwards was at first. That was not a pinch runner. Edwards awfully clean, but that's a designated hitter. That's a hitter up there. So we go to the top of the 7th. Blue Devils lead 5-1. All right, to the top of the 7th we go. Back to the top of the order. Goldbeck, Basler, and Mervosh scheduled. Goldbeck is 3 for 3 on the day. A couple of base hits and a solo home run. He'll be up there as he leads things off in the 7th. There's the dreaded 57-footer out there that bounces off the catcher. Lamoose takes one there. 1-0 the count on Gary Goldbeck, the shortstop. That just misses a little bit low on the inside. Koppel on in relief of Taylor. Taylor goes 5. This is the second inning for Koppel. There's a strike right through there. 2-1 the count. Blue Devils leading 5-1. 7 innings scheduled game. Top of the 7th. There's a ball headed down the right field line. And that's going to be extra bases for Goldbeck. So Goldbeck with the double into the left field corner. So Goldbeck with a 4-for-4 day at the plate already leads the nation in batting average. That's going to bring up Peyton Basler. He's been out on a pop out, a ground out, and had an RBI base hit in the 5th inning. He'll be trying to get some insurance run here. That's up high, 1-0 the count. Comes the 1-0. There's a ball headed into center field. Bunch takes care of that. Goldbeck stays at second. So Basler hits it hard, but pretty much right at Finley Bunch in center. That's going to bring up Jackson Mervosh. Mervosh has hit into a double play, reached on a base on balls, and had a sac bunt. It's a little bit low, 1-0 the count. Swing and a miss of that pitch. One ball, one strike, one out, one on. Breaking ball right through there. So 1-2 the count now. On the third baseman, Jackson Mervosh. That stays up just a bit. 2-2 the count. Blue Devils 5 runs on 10 hits and 1 was an error. And the Cardinals 1 run on 4 hits. Comes the stretch in the 2-2. There's a ball of 1 hopper. Nice job on the high hop by Floyd and over to Max. So a nice play by Floyd on the ball. Pops up and grabs with the backhand for the 4-3 ground out. It's going to bring up Witta. Witta's been called out on strikes, hit into a double play, and had a base hit for 2 RBI. 1 for 3 on the day. There's a high chopper to the first baseman. Mack grabs that, steps on the bag. So we go to the bottom of the 7th. 7 innings scheduled game now. Blue Devils leading 5-1. I'll be back. All right, here we go to the bottom of the seventh inning. Vieira, Jenkins, and Floyd scheduled up. We'll see if there's any pinch hitters. There's low and outside to Vieira. Vieira is grounded out to the pitcher and flew out along the line in right field to Dirks. There's a one-hopper to Mervosh. Mervosh loads up his rifle, shoots it over to Woida for the 5-3 ground out on Vieira. That's going to bring up a pinch hitter. Number 13, Nick Dunn from Overland Park, Kansas, will come in and pinch hit here. He'll face Lewis for the first time. There's a strike one called. So the Cardinals down to their last 2 outs in this one. There's a strike on the inside corner. So Nick Dunn down in the count 0-2 to Lewis. There's a ball fouled out down the right field line. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th. Blue Devils leading 5-1. There's a ball. And that's going to be out of play down the right field line as well. So Dunn earns another pitch. And that's a little bit low. Didn't have him chasing there. 1-2 the count. Dunn pinch hitting for Jenkins. Breaking ball, swing, and a miss. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Brandon Floyd. Floyd has a double and a fly out to right field. His double was into the left field corner. He ended up scoring the only run so far. There's outside ball one, so he was at third base. And when the runner headed to second, he was able to score as Bunch was caught stealing, but didn't end up being out. There's strike called, so 1-1. But nonetheless, Floyd with the only run for the Cardinals. That's outside. So the Cardinals down to their last out here in the bottom of the 7th. They trail by 4, 2-1 the count. There's a ball. 2 hops to Basler. Basler up with it and over to Woida for the 4-3 ground out, and the Blue Devils win game 1 5-1. We will take about a 30-minute break. The Blue Devils take the first 3 of the series. They took the first 2 up at KCK. And then down here today, take the first one in this doubleheader. We'll come back in about 25 to 30 minutes. We'll have the second game, a 9-inning scheduled game. We'll be back with that information. Thanks so much for joining me. We'll see you in a bit.